From the ashes of a life flows to the beautiful, strong and bold woman with declarations of continuous elevation. We are women who rise, women who rise. With God we succeed in spite of all challenges. Women who rise, women who rise. With our scars and all, we stand bold and tall. Fearfully and wonderfully made, we've learned to walk by faith, leaning and depending on Christ. He will always make a way. We are women who rise, women who rise. With God we succeed in spite of all challenges. Women who rise, we are women who rise. With our scars and all, we stand bold and tall. We continue to rise. Oh yes, we do. We are women who rise. Women who rise. We rise.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Happy Thursday, everybody. Happy Thursday, y'all. I'm so excited to be back here again tonight, y'all. Another Thursday, another phenomenal, another encouraging, another victorious testimony that we have lined up tonight. So I'm so excited for tonight's testimony. As you all know, our beautiful, lovely guest for tonight is a young woman of God, only 17 years old, Miss Laila Radford. So I'm especially happy and excited to have her on tonight to hear whatever testimony God has laid upon her heart. Y'all know I love having young women on to share their testimony. So I hope y'all are happy. I hope y'all are excited, y'all. We're going to make her feel welcome. She's a little bit nervous, but I know she's going to do a phenomenal job tonight. Thank you to everybody who are on tonight, whether you're joining us by way of Facebook, whether you are joining tonight by way of YouTube, or whether you're going to come back and watch it at a later time. Thank you all so very much for joining. While we wait for some more people to come on, y'all already know, go ahead and hit the share button. Go ahead. And if you know, let me say this, if you know a young person, a teenager, mainly tonight, who you feel would benefit from Laila's testimony, please put their name in the comment section, tag them, share the live tonight so they can see that Women Who Rise, we're alive. And not only that, we're alive with a very young woman on who has a testimony to share. We know that, you know, young people are drawn to other young people. Teenagers are more drawn to other teenagers than they are to older people. So y'all go ahead and share the video tonight. Go ahead and tag a young person and let them know, hey, we got a 17-year-old young woman tonight that's giving her testimony. You don't want to miss it. So let them know, hey, if you want some Laila friends, let them know, hey, your friend testifying tonight. She going to encourage you. So y'all get somebody on your mind. And at the same time, you can get an older person on your mind, somebody in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whoever you can. You know, it doesn't mean that just because she's a young woman that somebody older cannot benefit from a young person's testimony. So just be good to getting somebody on your mind and putting their name in the comment section, sharing it with them, and we can all rise tonight. So I'm excited about it. I'm so happy to have such a young, beautiful woman on with us tonight to share her testimony. So I hope y'all are excited as well. With that being said, I am going to go ahead and I am going to bring Miss Laila on screen with us so we can get her testimony tonight. There is Miss Laila Radford with us tonight. Y'all already know. Go ahead and give this beautiful young woman. I mean, if you ain't never clapped before, if you ain't never gave nobody a round of applause, I want y'all to clap for Miss Laila tonight. Let's make her feel welcome here at the Women Who Rise platform tonight. Put your hands together for her real good, because we're excited to have such a young woman on tonight. I want to ask you, Laila, how are you doing on this Thursday evening?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm great. I'm excited. I'm happy to have you. Let me calm down a little bit. I'm excited to have you. I want to say thank you for accepting my invitation to come on and be, just to share your testimony and let everybody know what God is doing in your life. I was sharing with Laila earlier that I was a little nervous to reach out to her, previously, because I was like, she's super young. She not gonna want to do that. But y'all, she shocked me. She responded and she said yes. So I'm just happy about that alone. I'm excited to hear her testify. I've never heard her testify. So I'm excited to hear her testify tonight. And I know you all are excited as well. Laila, let me ask you this. Is there anything you would like to say to greet our viewers tonight before we get your testimony?
Hi. Thank y'all for coming. I hope I say something that can encourage somebody. But yeah, I think that's it.
I have no doubt in my mind that you're going to say something to encourage somebody to rise. And that's regardless of our age. I was saying earlier how you don't have to be a young person. You don't have to be Laila's age for her to say something that could cause you to rise, or for her to say something that would encourage you to be a better person. We can learn a lot if we just open up our ears, and that's regardless of the person's age. So my ears are open tonight. I hope you all's ears are open as well. God can speak to whoever he want to speak to. If you would be willing to open up your heart and just lend a listening ear, encouragement can come from whichever way God will send it. And I feel like tonight, whichever way God want to send his encouragement, if he want to send it through 17-year-old Laila, guess what? I'm sitting here and I'm ready to receive the encouragement that's going to come through 17-year-old Laila Radford tonight. Yes, I'm excited, y'all. Let me calm down. So with that being said, if you are new to this channel tonight, y'all, we are Women Who Rise. I am your host, Tierra Randall. We are here. Y'all. Every Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, I have a different woman of God, young, middle-aged, and older, sharing their testimony of how God has blessed them to rise. And you all know I say every week that our sole purpose is to let the world know that God is no respecter of persons, meaning the same God that loves us, the same God that loves me, the same God that loves Laila is the same God that loves you, the same God that gave us a testimony. He can give you a testimony, and he wants to give you a testimony tonight. So that's why we're here. We're here just to let somebody know what God has done for us, in hopes that it would encourage somebody else to rise. And as I forestated, our lovely guest for tonight is Miss Laila Radford, and she's going to share with us her testimony of how God has blessed her to rise. And I just want to say that a lot of you know that I love having young women on, because there are so many other young people out there who need to see other young examples of young people who are living life clean, pure, save, and they save for real. A lot of young people, they do not have examples, as in their friends and peers who they can look up to, and say, oh, I want to do things the way that I want to live the way they're living. So I feel like having young people on, young women, it's needed just as much as it is having adult women on to share their testimony. So as I mentioned earlier, if you know a teenager, a young person who without a shadow of a doubt needs to hear Laila's testimony, y'all, while she's testifying, get them on your mind, tag them in the comment section, because we want as many people as possible, especially young people tonight, to be encouraged to rise. So, amen. With that being said, we're going to jump right in. We're going to get Miss Laila's testimony. Laila, I always start out to all of my guests with the first question of, when you first hear those three words, Women Who Rise, what are the first thoughts that come to your head?
I think of someone who doesn't give into modern day culture or social media. I know for my generation, social media is the biggest thing. That's how you find out what's happening, the news trends, news. The short 30-second clips are how we get a lot of our information. And I think that's someone who rises, who doesn't give into that, or who doesn't believe the lies of social media. I also think of a woman of God who always prays and stays in her Bible and who fasts and make sure she shows her light in her relationship with God.
I'm trying to write as fast as I can. You said a lot of good information in that little bitty span just now. You said someone who does not give in to modern day culture. And I think that's That that's a big one right there, because that's actually hard for a lot of people to do. And like you said, they look at social media and they think this is a life I need to live. This is a life I should have. And I also love how you said somebody who doesn't believe the lies of social media. And rather, a lot of people know, especially young people, a lot of young people are deceived into believing that everything they see on social media is true. And we, us that know better, we know that a lot of what you see on social media, not true. People live fake lives on social media because it's easy to do. It's so easy to be somebody else on social media. If you don't like who you are, you can create a whole profile of a fake person that's not even really you. So I love the fact that you pointed that out, not to believe the lies that you see on social media and not to get caught up in the modern day culture. And we know, us as children of God, saved people, we take on the image of Christ. We don't conform to modern day social. We don't, although we're on social media, we don't get wrapped up in social media lives. We take on the mind of Christ. So I thought those were two very good key points that you've already pointed out, Layla. And I thank God for that. So I want to move on to the next question, Layla. And everybody knows this is my favorite questions, because this is the question where you get to give your testimony. This is where we get to see and hear what God has done in your life. But can you share with us a time in your life where you came to one of your defining moments, even as a 17-year-old? I believe and I know that God has done something for you. He's come through for you. He's given you a testimony because you're saved, you're young and you're saved. And that's two things the devil don't like. He knows that that's a threat to his kingdom. A young person that's saved and on fire for God and they're living holy the right way, I know that makes him mad. So I know he's tried to come against you in some type of way. So can you share with us a time in your life where you came to one of your defining moments? And not only that, how did you choose to rise?
When I was starting out my senior year, the previous months I had lost someone in my family, and that was someone who was really close to me. We grew up together, and that was the first time I ever experienced loss like that. And entering into my senior year, it was like, okay, now what do I do? How do I move on? How do I grieve at the same time? I'm someone who don't talk about their feelings much, and I keep it all in. So it's like, okay, how do I keep it in and not take it out on anybody, because nobody knows what's going on? And then trying to deal with that, to one point I was with some family members and some friends, and it was like someone just shut off a light switch, and I just wasn't myself anymore. Like, I felt it happen. I'm like, okay, this is odd. Let me try to do something that makes me feel like me. And I couldn't get back to it. And I had someone was like, are you okay? I can tell something's up with you. I'm like, no, I'm fine. They're like, well, no, something's off. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe something is off with me. And I just remember just going through, I'm with school, and so I'm trying to balance everything. I'm planning events for the school, and I'm trying to make sure everybody's having a good senior year. I'm trying to make sure I'm applying to college and every scholarship and FAFSA, trying to make sure I'm getting that stuff ready. And I remember I went with my mom to a fellowship church, and she had left to go get some food. And it was just, I was just so done, like I couldn't do it anymore. And before I laid down, I remember I looked out the window. I always look to see my surroundings anywhere I go. And for some reason, I just looked down, and I could see the covering of another place in the hotel. And she had left, and she was probably gone for maybe 5 minutes. And I started laying down, and I just started crying. So I just didn't know what was wrong with me. And just something was going, you know what, just jump out the window, just go. You can't do it no more, just go. But I'm grateful because God wouldn't let me move. I couldn't get out the bed. I couldn't move. And I just started crying even harder and thanking God and praying because I didn't know what was happening. And I was grateful because I had a friend who, before I can tell her anything, God sends it to her in a dream, or he says it to her. And she was like, something's up. I'm here for you. I know what's going on. Let me help you. And so she would check on me every day. And I don't like crying in front of nobody. When I cried in front of her, and she was like, I understand, I'm here for you. I'm praying for you. And that encouraged me so much to the point where I started praying more. My Bible has this thing, both my Bible and my Bible app, where it's like if I feel a certain way, there's scriptures for it. And so I would listen to these scriptures and I would read them, and it would encourage me even more. And one day, after doing that and praying, I looked up and I was like, hey, I'm not in this no more. Something happened. I don't know when it happened, but somehow I just looked up and I was like, wow, I'm okay. I'm making it. School's going good. My friends going good. I'm not in the state I was. I don't feel like oh, I can't do this no more. Like the world is just my oyster, and I'm just having, enjoying my senior year, enjoying life. And that was like the biggest defining moments because it taught me that no matter what's happening, God can bring me out of it. And when something else comes, I know you've done it before, so you can definitely do it again.
Oh, I love it, Laila. I love it. Oh my God. I mean, I would have never guessed that that's a testimony that you were going to share with us tonight. And I'm glad that you did, because that's something that's major with a lot of young people today. Them feeling like the only answer is to end it all, or the only way for them to escape the pain that they feel is to listen to that voice that's telling them, like you said, jump out the window, or do whatever to themselves, to stop the pain, suicide, to end it all. When we know that's the number one thing you don't want to do. We know that that's not the answer, but it's so many young people who are giving in to that voice because they don't know it's the voice of the enemy. It's so many of them that hear that voice, and unfortunately they act on that voice that's telling them, hey, if you do this, you'll be out of pain, you'll be out of your misery, you can end it all right now. And unfortunately, we've seen so many of them that have obeyed that voice, the voice of the enemy, and they have taken their own life and committed suicide. And I thank you for sharing that testimony, because you're a living testimony of somebody who has been there to where the enemy was telling you, go ahead and end it all, jump out the window, and the pain will be gone, the pain of losing that person in your life that was near and dear to you. But thank God, that God intervened, and you didn't obey that voice. You didn't give in and give the enemy what he wanted. And no doubt he probably saw something down the line, greatness, a victory in your life, and he wanted to cut you off, I believe, before you had a chance to sit here and tell the world this testimony and help another young person to realize, if you hear a voice telling you to do something that you know is going to harm yourself or end it all or take your own life, listen, that is not the voice of God. The Bible declares that all good and perfect gifts, they come from above. So regardless of your age, if you're a young person, if you're an adult, an older person, because the devil is the devil, and he'll try to, regardless of your age, he'll try it. But if you're hearing a voice telling you, like Laila said, jump out of a window or go do this to harm yourself, and you'll be all right, that is not the voice of God. Ignore that voice and seek help as soon as possible. I also want to point out to you, Laila, I appreciate the fact that you said you had a friend that noticed that something was wrong even before you noticed it. And they asked you, what was wrong. And you said, you're not one to really share anything. And you certainly not wanting to, to cry in front of anybody, but you were this friend, was able to tell you, hey, I'm praying for you. I see that something was wrong. You were able to cry. And I'm glad you pointed that out, because even with, young people, a lot of times, they don't have those type of connections, or having a friend that's going to say, as a teenager, that's going to say, I'm praying for you. You're going to get through this. And I wanted you, Laila, just a little bit, if you can, talk more about like the importance of having, like, what did that friend do? Like, what did it do for you having a friend in that moment? Because you said you're not one to talk to, really share a lot of what you go through. So what was it like just knowing that, God showed to somebody that, hey, I see you, I'm praying for you, you're not in this alone. So what was that like for you?
It made me think, wow, God really do care for me, because he sent me somebody who listens and who cares. And even though they know I won't say it, they know at some point I will. So just offering themselves encouraged me a lot. And just because they are a little older than me, they were a role model to me. Mm-hmm. And they're like, I got you. And just seeing how they live in their life, and I know they've gone through things, it's like, okay, you've gone through it, you've got out of it, and you turned out to be fine. So I know I can. It was a big encouragement for me.
I love it. I love it. I thank God for it. And I'm glad, Laila, that you were even receptive to the individual, that came to you and let you know, hey, I see you, I'm praying for you. Because, a lot of times we're close, especially us ones, like you said, we don't cry in front of people. We don't want to let nobody know when nothing wrong. We're like, I'm okay, I'm good, leave me alone, I'm fine. We want to be the strong friend. So when God does reveal something to an individual and we know they're right, it's good not to reject it, but to accept it, because I feel like that, like you said, that's coming directly from God. That's God letting us know, hey, I see you. You know, you're on my mind. I'm watching you and I got you. So I feel like in those times, as opposed to rejecting those people or saying, girl, get out of my business, you know, no, that could be God telling you, hey, I hear you. I see you. You are not alone. So I thank you for even pointing that out as well, that you had somebody, and I'm glad that you were receptive to her, you know, telling you I'm praying for you and that I'm covering you. So I thank God for that. I want to ask you this question as well tonight, Layla. What would you say tonight to I'm gonna just direct it at young people tonight. You know, of course, the older people as well can be encouraged, but I'm gonna direct this question in regards to just young people. What would you say to the next teenager, the next 17-year-old girl, 16, or even the, you know, the guy, you know, the 17, 16, 18-year-old guy or girl tonight who may be in that place to where they're feeling like they're all by themselves. And the enemy is telling them the only way to rid yourself of the pain that you're feeling is to end it all. Because, like we said earlier, suicide is a big thing now amongst young people. They can feel like the peer pressure is too much. They can feel like the pressure, you know, to be popular, or the pressure to be liked, or even to be loved. They feel like it's just too much and they want to end it all. And they feel like this is the only way. But what would you say to that young person tonight to encourage them to rise?
I would tell them, make sure, even though you don't like talking to somebody, keeping those people around you who care for you is a big thing. I would suggest praying more. Know that when you're going through your lowest valleys, it's usually for a reason, that God's trying to take you to your highest mountain. I would say that just try to talk, even though you shut yourself down from people. And I know crying for help is hard. You have to do it because it does help. In the long run, it's like, okay, I've done it. And even though I didn't like to talk to that person, it helped me and it helped me become a better person. And it's like, I have so many goals and so much that I can offer to the world. So why end it all and let the world miss out on what I have to offer?
Come on, Layla. I'm gonna repeat that last part. She said, why end it all and let the world miss out on everything that you have to offer? And I believe with all my heart that that is exactly the plan of the enemy, you know, especially with a saved young person. He knows that inside of you, God has placed great potential, even if you're not saved. God has a great plan for your life as well. And the enemy knows that and he sees that. So he'll try to cut you off before you come into the knowledge of that great potential that God has for you. But like Layla said, why would you end it all and rob the world of all this great potential that's inside of you that could bless somebody else, that could cause somebody else to rise, that could literally bring somebody else the deliverance that they have been waiting on? So if you don't remember anything else, I love that, Layla, what you just said. If you don't remember anything else, when the enemy comes and tempts you or tell you you're better off leaving this world, you're better off not being here, you don't add any value, nobody loves you, nobody likes you, remember what Layla said. Why would I leave this place and rob the world of all the great potential that God has placed in me to give the world? I love it. We're going to end on that note. I love that, Layla. I mean, such a beautiful young woman, only 17 years old, but filled with so much wisdom. And y'all, she gave it to us nice and simple and sweet tonight. And I thank God for it. I love it. Thank you, Layla. I want to say to all of my guests tonight, thank you all who have joined us. I knew this was going to be good, short, and sweet. And it has been all of those things. And if you know Layla, you know she's a beautiful, sweet young lady. I feel like she's just so soft-spoken and sweet. So honestly, I thought she was like 13 or 14. And I told her this a few months ago, and I was shocked to find out that she's almost 18 years old. But a very, very sweet young woman of God. I mean, just humble. I love her. If you don't know her mom, I had her mom on. I think it was at the end of last year. I feel like this is a mini Paula Radford. So yeah, if you hadn't seen her mom's testimony, go back a little bit and watch Paula Radford's testimony, part 1 and part 2. This is her beautiful daughter that's with us tonight. I was so excited to have her. And I know the testimony that she has given tonight is going to be a great blessing and a great benefit. So thank you again, Miss Laila, for sharing your testimony with us tonight. I want to say thank you to all of the viewers who are watching, whether you are viewing on Facebook, whether you have viewed us on YouTube tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in and for joining. I don't have to ask, but y'all know I'm going to ask if you enjoyed Miss Laila's testimony tonight. Y'all, let's clap our hands real big for this beautiful young woman tonight, just for her boldness, her transparency tonight. A lot of young people and people in general, they don't like to admit or say, hey, the devil fought me, or the devil came and whispered in my ear and told me to end it all. We usually don't want nobody to know that, because like I said earlier, we want people to view us as being bulletproof, 10 feet tall. We don't want nobody to know that the enemy, you know, has ever fought us with such a thing. But listen, the devil is the devil, and he'll come. He'll try to fight you with things that, you know you got the victory over, but he's the enemy. You know, just let him know, hey, I still got the victory. It didn't work then, and it ain't gonna work now. So yeah, I thank God for the testimony tonight, Laila. I appreciate you coming on and sharing that testimony. That is something that is needed. And that is a testimony that will never, ever get old. As long as there's an enemy, that testimony will never get old. So I thank you for that. Yes, y'all give her a great big hand clap tonight. I also want to say again, thank you to everybody who shared the flyer, everybody who is sharing the video, the live right now. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it. And I love y'all so much. I thank God for it. We're going to let you all go for right now, but you all know we will be back next week, Thursday, 8:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will let you all know on next week who our guest is. Another beautiful woman of God is going to be testifying. Y'all, I'm excited about these women I have lined up. I'm just excited. So I hope y'all are excited. I hope y'all will join us again on next week. With that being said, I am going to let you all go for right now. Again, Laila, is there any last remarks you would like to give to our viewers before we say goodnight?
I don't have anything.
I love it, y'all. She's just straight to the point. I love it. But you have what you have already said has been an encouragement, and it has been a blessing to, I believe, the viewers of all ages, both male and female. And we thank God for you tonight. Well, we love y'all. Y'all have a good night. We will see y'all on next week. I'll let y'all know on Monday who our guest for next week is going to be. Until then, y'all keep rising. Make the devil out of a lie. Don't listen to what he's telling you. Whatever he's telling you to do the opposite of that. Amen. We love y'all. Y'all have a good night for tonight. See you all on next week.
We are women who rise, women who rise. With God we succeed, in spite of all challenges. Women who rise, we are women who rise. With our scars and all, we stand bold and tall. We continue to rise. Oh yes, we do. We are women who rise. Women who rise.